Well, hello, and welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator stream. We have a few flights on the deck today. This would be possibly my longest stream I'm going to do if I actually complete all the flights I have planned. So we're doing a historical Northwest Airlines route today. It's a total of 4 legs. It's a route that Northwest Airlines did, I believe it was in the 60s and 70s, 80s, probably 90s. And they probably killed it off in the early 2000s, or maybe even the late 90s. But it starts off here in Winnipeg, Canada. So James Armstrong Richardson International is the airport name. And it ends in Cleveland, Ohio. So within that flight, or in that route, we're going to end up doing, so we're going to start off with the first flight here, which is Winnipeg to Grand Forks, North Dakota. It's weird, but Northwest Airlines was based in the Midwest primarily. Minneapolis was their main hub, so it makes sense that they had flights to Grand Forks, which Grand Forks has a big military base, so I think that's the only thing Grand Forks has. Welcome in, Fry, welcome in. So we're going from Winnipeg to Grand Forks. Then we're going to go from Grand Forks to Minneapolis, so the Northwest Airlines hub. And then we're going to go from Minneapolis to Chicago, O'Hare, and then O'Hare to Cleveland. So those are the 4 flights I currently have scheduled. The first flight's really, really short. We're gonna spend more time starting the aircraft up, taxiing, and then taxiing in to Grand Forks than we are going to be in the air. It's about 30 minutes in the air total. The second flight, Grand Forks to Minneapolis, is about an hour-long flight. The third's about the same, another hour-long flight, and the last one's about another hour as well. So in total, we're looking at about 3-ish hours, 3.5 hours worth of flying time. So let us get going. So the first flight, I figured we'll do the E-170. Now I know this is the 175. I don't know for sure if Northwest actually flew the E-Jet. They might have in their later years. But definitely for this historical flight, it would not have been this E-Jet. It would have, if anything, it would have been the ERJ, which is very similar to the CRJ, just Embraer version. So I don't know for sure if they flew this one, but I figured this would be cool because I do have a Northwest livery for this aircraft, and this is great for nice regional hops. The last 3 flights probably all going to be in the E-Jet, or not E-Jet, the A320, unless we have some requests from the chat. So I think the second flight for sure, the A320 from Phoenix, and the last 2 flights, I'll throw up a poll up and see what people are saying. Pilots Live. What is that, Bry? You flying Pilots Live? So this is not going to be my typical Pilots Live flight. This is... I was going to do on-air. I really thought about doing on-air to get that going, but I had done some research on Northwest Airlines routes a while back ago, and I figured this would be a great opportunity because I do have I have all day, really, to do some flying, so... I figured this would be a great opportunity to actually get these routes done. So let's jump on into this cockpit. Oh, Pilot's Life. I see what you say. No, I just answered that one. So yeah, this is not going to be a Pilot's Life flight. This is very rare that I don't do a Pilot's Life. This is going to be just a good old-fashioned flying, which actually is going to be kind of relaxing, to be honest, because I love a Pilot's Life. I love it so much, but sometimes you get a little bit nerve-wracking when you have to make sure everything's completely perfect all the time for your landing. So if I make mistakes, I make mistakes in this one, right? I don't got to worry about the lights. I don't got to worry about being super smooth on landing. Just have fun out there. The APU is started. Lights are all on there. Smoking signs and all that stuff's grand. Let's go on over here.
We're still working on those, so please be patient.
And as long as SAYINTENTIONS fully works, we'll be taking SAYINTENTIONS for all 4 flights, unless, again, I'll put up a poll, and we might try a be on ATC flight. We'll see how that works out as well. Alright, so we are already expecting runway 31 departure. Conditions are dry throughout all of our flights today. It is very windy in the Chicago area, and I think the Minneapolis area as well, so... winds here, not too bad, 9. I think they're gusting up to like 25 in Chicago right now. I can hear it outside my window, it's insane. Alright, so instantly load everything in. Calculate, and then instantly load everything in. And then we have some cool things to talk about in the air, in terms of flight sim stuff that I'm looking forward to happening. So, got some cool stuff going on within our community. It's a great time to be a simmer. Alright, so we have auto programming going on there. We'll have a route popping up shortly. Let's get ATIS while we're at it, shallowly. ATIS is 1202, oh sorry, 120.2, yeah. Let's see what the weather is.
Approaches in use. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. VFR departures contact clearance delivery on 121.3. Advise on initial contact you have information whiskey.
Whiskey it's going to be today. Let's switch on over to clearance.
Information whiskey. 150.
Let me know if SAYINTENTIONS is really quiet. I've messed with the settings a bit, because it's sometimes blasts in my ear. I felt it's a little too quiet in that case right now, so. Alright, let's jump on down below here. Takeoff is all good. Set in there. Let's just verify it though. Takeoff. Let's get the winds in. That's easy. Ports flight.
Skyhawk Delta Alpha Juliet taxi to runway tree 1 via Alpha Charlie, hold short of runway tree 1 and Charlie. Contact tower on 125.4 when ready for departure.
Okay, so, let's see, it is 290 at 7. I'm used to looking over at a pilot's life and just having all the information there, which is fantastically awesome. Alright, so we have that all programmed, so this is all set. Flight plan should be pretty good for the most part.
Winnipeg, clearance, Rocky Mountain 223, request clearance IFR to Thunder Bay as filed.
You were looking at which software, Pilot's Life? And yeah, the GSX, that's what I want to talk about in the air here. I'm super excited, super excited. I don't have it for this flight. I want to not add things in case it all goes to hell. Alright, let's get our first clearance here. I think SAYINTENTIONS is working. Sometimes the mic doesn't want to work initially, so let's do a radio check first. Winnipeg clearance, Northwest 516 request radio check. Okay, looks like it's all working. That's fantastic.
Clearance, Skyhawk, November Foxtrot, Delta Alpha Juliet, requesting VFR clearance for circuits.
Northwest 516, Winnipeg clearance, 5x5.
I wonder what they're going to send us up to initially. Winnipeg clearance, good morning from Northwest 516. We'd like to pick up our IFR to Grand Forks International. We have information whiskey on board and are ready to copy.
Northwest 516, cleared to Grand Forks, radar vectors, CAV key, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect 16 minutes after departure. Departure on 119.9er, squawk 3245.
Alright, so up to 4,000. Departure frequency is 119 at 9. And I have the auto squawk on. That's cool. Radar vectors Casby? That's how you say it. Clear to Grand Forks via radar vectors CASV, then is filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect 16,000 10 minutes after departure. Departures on 119.9 squawk 3245 Northwest 516. Like a little background music going on, but I don't want it to be like super distracting.
Northwest 516, read back correct. Expect runway 31. Contact ground on 121.9er.
31's what I'm expecting, so over to ground. Alright, so we're on ground frequency. Let us, 4,000 is what it said for departure. I have that programmed as well. Let's get pushback set up. Yeah, with the pilot's life, so there are 3 ways you can set the contracts. Every week, every 7 days, I should say, if it's not, doesn't fall on the weekend, you can set up a new contract.
Sun Country 1617.
And
Contact
so the
tower
3
on
ways are,
123.7
the first
for takeoff
is
clearance. Bye-bye.
you do at least 5 flight hours in a week. So 5 flight hours in that contract. The second is 10 flights. There's no requirement in terms of nautical miles, it's just 10 flights. You have to get like 5 really short flights. Makes it really simple. The third is there's no requirement. I don't remember what they call it in there. It's like free roam or something, where you can do only 1 flight in that contract. You don't get penalized. But if you do one of the other 2, so the 5 flights or the 10 flights, the 5 flights you get an additional, I think it's 10% XP or cash or both. I don't remember. And then the 10 flights you get 20 or 25% extra. So if you do know you have the time during that week, pick which one is ideal for you. So I just recently got into American Airlines, and I've only done the 5 hours requirement for this week, because I wasn't quite sure how it would all play out, knowing that I was going to stream today,
Air Canada
not knowing if I was going to use
Winnipeg
pilot's
ground,
life.
Air Canada 376, push and start approved. Information Yankee is current.
And I think with American Airlines, it's probably best for me to just do the 5
Winnipeg ground,
flight hours,
Navy Port
because
is at parking Foxtrot 10 with Romeo, ready for taxi, VFR to the south.
Foxtrot 10, because American Airlines has like longer flights than I'm used to, comparing it to SkyWest, which is more regional. So at least I don't have to try to push myself to do those flights if I don't want to, Alright, let's get our push and start, shall we? Winnipeg ground, a good morning from Northwest 516. We're at gate 10. We'd like to request push and start.
Tower on 125.4 when ready for departure.
There's no one at this airport today.
Hotel Charlie.
I'm on the
runway
East US server.
125.4 when
APU's on.
for Navy Port Tree.
Northwest 516, Winnipeg ground, good afternoon. Push and start approved. Information Whiskey is current.
Alright, we've been cleared for pushback, so we're going to start our pushback and get engine number 1 rolling. Alright, next thing we want to do is I want to get my speed up to 210. I've been trying to get myself to try something else outside of a pilot's life, and that's why I really was looking at on air, but I just can't get myself to commit. On air is also a subscription-based service, and I already hate subscriptions as it is, and I just don't know how much time I'm willing to dedicate into on air. It also seems to be a lot more involved than just flying. That's the aspect I enjoy the most out of, obviously, flight sim is the flying. I don't really care about the career advancements and stuff like that. So I need to watch a little bit more videos. I watched some last night because I was planning on doing on air today, but I just couldn't get myself to do it. Couldn't do it. Alright, engine 1 is looking very, very good. Engine 2 is coming up next. Yeah, I actually joined a virtual airline, virtual sky team, which is Delta. And I've done a couple flights with that, and I don't mind it. It's decent. It's a little bit different. I do like the way what's it called? Keeps tracks of all your requirements for the flight. I thought that was kind of cool.
Rocky Mountain 223, continue taxi via Foxtrot
I'd
Papa to runway 13.
start off in
Contact tower on 125.
was it Miami or Orlando? I think it was Orlando. And so I found a couple flights down south in the U.S. I was thinking about jumping over to Chicago and see what routes are there. And I like the virtual sky team because there's no requirements. A lot of the virtual airlines, you have to do X number of flights per week, per day, whatever it is, or flight hours. And I'm like, ah. And some of them you have to do like all the training on board. I'm like, I just want to fly. I just want to have a good time flying. All right, let's get our flaps going down.
Status ground, American 2480, ready to taxi.
Winnipeg ground, Northwest 516, request taxi. Alright, taxi, I'm not quite sure where we're gonna get. Maybe Hector Charlie? I don't know if there's... Oh, look at that, there's like a...
Northwest 516, taxi to runway 31 via Lima Kilo Foxtrot Hotel Charlie. Contact tower on 118.3 when ready for departure. American
Lima
2480,
Kilo
say again,
Foxtrot.
please.
I'm not sure where... Okay, there's Lima Kilo Foxtrot. Oh, it wants us to go really long way around. So the taxiways are right. This must be a taxi-tuned one.
American 2480, request you repeat that taxi.
We're taking a shortcut. Taxi runway 31 via Lima Kilo Foxtrot Hotel Charlie. We'll contact tower when ready for departure. Northwest 516. I don't know why I struggle saying the engines 2 is good. The airline I'm using, the call sign, because it's up there in the freaking SAYINTENTIONS UI. You have to fly one flight every month. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that. That's easy. But I had joined when Flight Sim 2020 first came out. I had joined a United virtual airline one, and it seemed like the requirements were a lot more aggressive. I don't remember what they were. But I remember I had to do some first training flight, and they had to review the flight to make sure that I knew what I was doing. So there's just other things that just kind of turned me off about doing another virtual airline, but the SkyTeam one seems pretty decent. But I might check out, well, I don't know if I can do the virtual American one, because it says part of the requirement with Delta is that you're not allowed to be in any other virtual airline. So I'm not sure if it uses the same software, what's it called, ACARS? If they use the same one, that I probably can't do it, but if it don't, how would they know? Wouldn't. They wouldn't know. Let's turn off that APU. I forgot taxi lights, so I already got dinged if I used a pilot's life. If SAYINTENTIONS gives you a runway, what happens if the airport has not runway numbers or incorrect? Does SAYINTENTIONS change them? You mean like if SAYINTENTIONS is reading it incorrectly and gives you the wrong runway? For example, I flew into Memphis last night. It kept saying runway 17 left. There is no run 7 left. There's only 18. 18 left, right, and I think center.
Winnipeg ground, Rocky Mountain 223. Request taxi for departure.
Okay, so here we're coming up on Hector, so it had us go a weird way around. It was all correct. 100% with the taxiway. It was all correct. Shoot, I am going the wrong way. Let's go the other way. was focusing too much on the scenery. It's really nice scenery. You always see the taxiway numbers in the airports that SAYINTENTIONS gives you. Not always. Not always.
Contact tower on 125.4 when ready for departure.
If the airport has Navigraph data, it's pretty decent. If it's taxi tuned, it's 100%. But sometimes it will just default to whatever Microsoft information is provided. So, like a taxiway in real life might be Echo. Flight sim will just be we'll just call it Bravo, and that's what SAYINTENTIONS reads. Ooh, I have a Lego version of this plane. The water, what's it called? The firefighter, fire, I can't remember what the name is now. They drop water on the forest fires. It's cool. Alright, left is all clear, right is looking clear. Landing lights on, switch over to tower, put in departure also. Winnipeg Tower, Northwest 516, holding short, runway 31, ready for departure. I didn't do takeoff okay yet.
Takeoff okay.
I did now.
Northwest 516, Winnipeg Tower, winds 280 at 6, runway 31, cleared for takeoff. Fly runway heading.
Cleared for takeoff, American 516. So I don't know if you actually have to say the runway when you repeat it back. I've gotten conflicting information. I've listened to some chatter, real life ATC chatter, and they do sometimes and they don't sometimes. I'm very confused. Alright, so it said runway heading. So in that case, we're going to go and hit this little button. So we're on the runway heading, bring up our throttles now. Toga set. And let's get rolling out of Winnipeg. Goodbye, Winnipeg.
Tower, American 2480, hold short of runway 36, ready to go.
V1, rotate.
Right. For positive rate. Gear going up. We're at a slight crosswind. Ever so slight. Flaps up one notch.
American 2480, Madison Tower, then proceed on course.
And flaps up full.
Northwest 516, contact departure on 119.9er.
Departure Northwest 516, 2,400, climbing 4,000. Alright, so we're going to go to heading mode. AP on.
Northwest 516, Winnipeg approach, turn right, heading 080, vectors to Cascade.
Alright.
Northwest 516, Winnipeg approach, climb and maintain 13,000.
We're going right. Oh, sorry, right. Right heading 080, climb and maintain 13,000, Northwest 516. Let me go in here. Oh well, we'll do what it says. clear direct. Oh, that's vectors. Okay, it's giving us vectors too. Okay, I see what's going on. Alright, and we're going to climb up to flight level 130. Alright, we're climbing, we're turning. If you do have SAYINTENTIONS, I do recommend. Brian recently put a poll, a community poll up, and he was asking questions of should he focus on something else and leave the IFR bugs that are currently in SAYINTENTIONS, just let them be for now and focus on some other stuff, or should he focus on that? And it looks like, based on what I've looked at this morning, most people want the bugs to be fixed. And he also put a couple more poll questions up there as well. So I do recommend, if you do have Discord, if you do have SAYINTENTIONS, hop into the Discord, go into the community poll, and give him some feedback so they know, or he knows what to focus his attention on. If you watch some of my recent streams, I do apologize for the crappy quality. I did not know. So I changed a couple of my settings in OBS. I didn't know that I dropped the resolution down to 720. I didn't realize that until I went back to watch one of my videos to listen to the audio to see how it was doing. And then I was like, oh crap, stupid quality. So it should be back up to 1080 and 60 FPS.
223 Winnipeg Center. Good evening. Bills your QNH 29er88. Northwest 516. Climb and maintain 16,000.
Up to flight level 16,000. Northwest 516. I shouldn't have said flight level. What the hell was I thinking?
Approach. Turn right, heading 090 vectors to wait.
Not at flight level yet. Alright, landing lights off over 9,000 in the
Northwest
E-Jet.
516, climb and maintain flight level 16,000.
16,000. Alright, we're gonna give it... Let's give it up to 11 minutes. If by 11 minutes we don't get a call to swing over to the right, we're gonna have to make our own vector. Can also get our speed up a little bit here, so let's go up to 250. Short flight, so not too worried about going too fast. The one big thing I want added to Flight Sim 2024, I know I talked about not having a whole lot of things that I personally want, but one big thing is the ability to control the external sounds. Some aircrafts have that capability, most don't. And so when you jump out, it'd be so freaking nice to not have a blaring loud sound every time. Obviously depending on the aircraft. I'm waiting to see what SAYINTENTIONS announces at the expo. Yeah, I'm very, very interested on what kind of cool stuff that might get announced from SAYINTENTIONS and everyone. I am going to stream that day during the actual event on Friday, or is it Friday the 21st? I won't have the video up because you do have to pay for it via the Flight Sim Expo team. It's like $15 for the weekend, so, and that would be probably against their rules. So I won't stream it, but I will give my commentary. I'll try to find pictures, or I'll screen cap, or whatever. I'll find something to throw up on the video part. But I'll definitely provide any feedback I can while I'm watching it. Okay, we're not going to get our call, are we?
Northwest 516. Expect the ILS runway 35 left approach into Grand Forks. Okay. I'll have your descent for you in about 1 minutes. IFR approaches are still a bit of a work in progress. Thanks for your patience.
Okay, so 35 left's what I'm expecting, and that's what we're gonna get. Let's vector ourselves on over. Does it seem to have lost us? Okay, let's go ahead and program our arrival then, shall we? Arrival, runway 35 left.
Northwest
ILS.
contact Winnipeg Center on 134.4.
We'll just, let's see here. We don't have an approach, so we'll just go here. It should be all grand. We have doubles in there. Let's delete that right quick. I know we have to do a talk right now, but we'll hold off. It won't let me clear that one, huh? Okay, so we'll have to just monitor that when we get closer up to it. Over to 134.4, Northwest 516. 3, 4, and a 4. And we're up at our cruising altitude for this flight, so 16,000. Winnipeg Center, good morning from Northwest 516. We're at 16,000.
Northwest 516, Winnipeg Center. Good afternoon, QNH 2974.
2974, we're at 76 right now, so that's okay. Yeah, I'm really curious on what's going to be announced at the expo. I'm very bummed that I can't go, or that I'm not going this year. I have to be cautious. I have to be cautious. I need to think about things smart and not just jump on in. Recovering from some pretty serious things, and it's wise for me to listen to my body and let it relax right now. As much as I really, really want to go. But next year. Next year for sure. This year would be cool because it, go to Expo and meet a bunch of people that you've maybe watched on Twitch or YouTube. Meet the people at SAYINTENTIONS would be really, really cool, in person.
Winnipeg Center, climb and maintain flight level
But, perhaps they'll be there next year. Let's see how things roll. Let's start programming our approach then. Or, our landing. So, runway 35 left is what I'm expecting. That's what we're getting. Let's see, runway heading is 354. The temperature...
AR Canada 376, climb and maintain flight level 280.
Is currently 22 Celsius. And the winds are, let's see, winds are 290 at 9. Okay, V speeds are set. Bring this back to radio. And we are expecting 109. Actually, that's already programmed. That's cool. I'm going to put it in as backup too, because I don't trust this E-Jet sometimes. Okay. That's set. We have that set. All's looking grand in the world. Minimums are going to be 1045.
Chicago Center, American 2480, request direct Oscar Bravo Kilo.
So 1040. Cool. Okay. Landing 35 left. We'll be exiting to the right, and the terminal is let's see, is on the right as well. So we'll probably exit. It's either going to be Alpha 3 or Bravo, and then we taxi via Alpha. Alpha Foxtrot, I'm assuming. Okay, so we're getting close to there. I'll go and throw on nav once we get closer up there. I don't know why it had us turn right. We should have turned left. That seems to have been a little weird thing going on. I couldn't go up here though. We can go. So is that what I want? This up here, and now we're going direct there. So we can also now just go nav, and we should be all good there. Cool. I'm a little nervous when Flight Sim Studio releases the VNav capabilities. I'm a little nervous when it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a very smooth launch. I think we're going to have some issues. It's such a complex thing, and I know they're a smaller team. So I'm a little worried about that. So I'm really hoping that they give us a backup
Air Canada 258,
to maybe just
Center,
use the
Roger.
default Flight
Build
Sim
your
stuff.
QNH 29er 59er.
I don't know how they can do that. That seems like a whole issue on its own. But maybe in the tablet, have a button you can click and it switches over. I don't know if that's even possible. But I am hoping for that. Okay, so let's talk about Flight Sim news while we're still about 100 miles away. As Fry said in there, we have cool news coming from the team over at what's their names? FS Dream, something like that. Anyways, they make GSX, and GSX, if you do not know, is it allows you to see passengers coming from the terminal onto the aircraft. It allows you to see passengers going upstairs. It also has like a fuel truck, cargo, baggage, all kinds of cool things like that. Cool pushback tool, has the marshals, all kinds of really cool things. It's a very cool piece of software. It does have its issues. There is a minor performance hit, depending on your system, and it could be sometimes wonky.
Air Canada 258, climb and maintain flight level 250.
They announced, was it yesterday or today? I can't remember. They now have it so that you can see passengers in the back of your plane. So when they actually load in the aircraft, when they come on in, can I open this door during flight? So if I were to have it installed, in theory, I'd be able to see all the passengers sitting in the seats. After they load it on in, they'd be sitting in their seats. That's so cool. That is such a cool thing. Whoops. Like I said, I really wanted to try it out for the stream. I was afraid, one, the E-Jet already in the past has had performance issues, and I didn't want to add on top of that GSX. And then on top of that, I have 4 legs I want to try doing today. So I didn't want to take the chance of ruining this potential stream or delaying the stream too much. It took several. Yeah, I know it. I don't understand why it takes so long. I once. So I had uninstalled. And here's the other thing. If you don't want to use it, you have to like unlink it. But then if you want to link it again, it has to reinstall or re-download. It seems like. That seems funky. Oh, it's only for the Phoenix.
Northwest 516, Winnipeg Center. Descend via for the ILS runway 35 left approach into Grand Forks. QNH 2977.
Fascinating. I didn't know that.
Bahamas 166. Climb.
All right, we're clear to descend.
230 when able.
I don't have a chart here. So we're going to drop down to 2600. So I can go ahead and put that in our... We're still pretty far away. We're not going to descend just yet, but I'll at least get this programmed. There, let's bring up our top of descent real quick. Auto, what do we have? AGFK. Descend in 32 nautical miles. So, at 57, so 30 nautical miles. Okay, so only a Phoenix. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Which I guess is kind of cool, because I mostly fly the Phoenix right now. It does look really cool. It does look really freaking awesome, and I'm super stoked. I think that's going to be something I'm going to work on. I'll reinstall GSX tonight, this afternoon, whatever it be, and I'll probably mess with it then. Off stream, kind of see how things are going, and then maybe I'll do a stream Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. That's really, really cool stuff. Like, I was blown away. I want to see the performance. That's probably my biggest thing is I want to see how much of a performance hit that is. Because it's already a pretty big performance hit when you're just there with it and it's loading the passengers on. I could drop anywhere between 5 to 10 FPS, and that at certain airports can be pretty major. So that's why I uninstalled it. I also just never used it enough. Really didn't. Okay, so they do have some optimizations. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna check it out. If you have any links for those videos, go ahead and drop them in the chat here. I don't think I have any restrictions on that kind of stuff right now.
Alaska Center. 684, flight level.
But yeah, I'm super excited to try that tonight. The other big news is, so if you've been using Flight Sim for a while, in terms of ATC, up until recently, there were very limited choices. There was the built-in Flight Sim, ATC, there has been Pilot to ATC, and then there's been FS HUD. FS HUD announced that they are going to be adding the ability to voice communicate to ATC, and they're also working on new voices. And I think it's going to be like AI voices. If they do indeed can get this to work, I think Beyond ATC is in trouble. I think they're in serious trouble because FS HUD, FS HUD, they have what, over a year now of experience and airport information built into their software. I've never used it, but I've heard really good things about all the vectors and the approaches and arrivals. I've heard they're really, really good. So if they can, oh, airplane's going crazy. It's losing its mind. But if they can nail the voices, if they can nail the communication, Beyond ATC's in pretty big trouble, in my opinion. In my opinion. And if they don't have a premium character kind of thing like Beyond ATC's offering, I know you cannot do that. You can do the basic voices, but man, other than the traffic injection, which you can do traffic injection with FS HUD, with any of the other already provided third-party traffic injection, I think Beyond ATC's in some serious trouble. I think they have some major competition coming up. It's gonna be wild. I don't know how far away they are from actually building that, but that's pretty big news. Pretty big news. What's the other big thing that I was reading about? Oh yeah, so Microsoft announced that Sim Update 15 is not going to be the last one, even though they said it was going to be the last one. It is not going to be the last one. They're going to do a Sim Update 16, and it sounds like it's going to be more of just a maintenance update, kind of fixing some of the ATC issues they have, and some optimizations here and there.
Northwest 516, contact Minneapolis Center on 132.15.
Over to 132.15, Northwest 516, good day. 132.15. Whoops, I didn't say anything. I just pushed the button. Wait for it to cycle through real quick. Just stop it, I guess. Okay. Minneapolis Center. Hello from hello from Northwest 516. We're at 16,000. So yeah, so that's interesting news from the Microsoft standpoint.
Minneapolis Center. Good afternoon, altimeter 2977.
Announced today, there's I think it's a Chinese or Japanese company that's working on a feedback yoke and some flight consoles And I think the yoke itself starts at about $800 for, there's going to be 2 versions, I think, but it's modular, so where you can add in additional feedback if you want, different motors they'll provide. So I think that's an interesting take on how things will play out. I'm very happy with my honeycomb up here. Very happy with that. So I'm not really considering any change with that. What else do we have? We had SoFly announced the Echo soundscapes. I think it's kind of weird. You'll be able to hear like birds and cars and stuff like that. Don't need that. Personally, I don't need that. Oh yeah, the Flight Beam will be releasing the San Francisco scenery soon. There was one released by BM Sim or something like that recently, and that one apparently is heavy on frames.
Oscar Zulu, expect the ILS-7L
Extremely heavy on frames. So I didn't pick it up because of that reason. What was my top of descent? Was it 50?
IFR approaches are still a work in progress, so thanks for your patience.
Yeah, whoops. Okay, let's start our descent.
Victor Echo 1, Papa Hotel Romeo. Papa Hotel Romeo, roger.
Alright, there's our airport. And we're, what are we landing? 35 right. Can I change this and go direct? Yeah, okay.
Papa Hotel Romeo, contact Minneapolis Center on 127.8. Contact the Minneapolis Center on 127.8. Papa Hotel Romeo.
So I'm going to swing us out a little bit to the left.
Currently on the lookout for the traffic. 0F Charlie destination is Kilo X-ray Whiskey Alpha. 0F Charlie.
Oh, got to delete it in chat. Okay, I thought I didn't remember if I had any restrictions. Maybe YouTube just auto restricts it. Thanks for trying though. I don't see any way that I can quickly change that setting.
Bonanza 0 Alpha Charlie, traffic at your 10 o'clock, 5 miles.
Yeah.
At flight
Thanks for
level
trying.
5,000 feet, Cessna 172.
0F Charlie on the lookout for the traffic.
Okay, so we should be on the ground here in what? Let's see, how do we do in this plane? Not performance. Program. 56, so yeah, within about 10 minutes. Oops, I want that on radio. Radio.
Bonanza 0 Alpha Charlie, traffic at your 2 o'clock.
So like I said, this first flight pretty short. We've been in the air for 24 minutes. So 30-something minutes total. I believe this is the Red River here, which is like on the border between Minnesota and North Dakota.
Islander 8 Oscar Zulu, descend via Yeska 6 for the ILS-7L runway 7 left approach into Anchorage. Altimeter 3021. Islander 8 Oscar Zulu, contact Anchorage approach on 118.6. Northwest 516 Minneapolis Center, contact Grand Forks approach on 118.1.
We'll contact Grand Forks approach. Northwest 516, good day. Alright, over to Grand Forks approach. Grand Forks approach, hello from Northwest 516. We're at 2000, descending 2,600.
Northwest 516, Grand Forks approach. Good afternoon, altimeter 2980.
It's actually morning right now. Still for another 11 minutes. But close enough. I've been deciding if I want to get into the Stream Deck. Steve just asked my wife if I can use hers, because she doesn't use hers. And initially I was like, I don't need it. There's no reason for me to use it. But doing these streams, it would be nice to have. Right now I have the, what is it, 15 key one. A bigger one. Now, in retrospect, I wish I would have got the bigger one. But having access to the keys with one click versus having to go into another menu would be nice. The way I have mine set up is I have an OBS one. So if I want to mute my mic real quick, I have to jump into there, hit the mic button. And I have menus for other flights and stuff. Main page, I have the comms. But if I had another stream deck, I could put the comms on there. The comms on there, the wind on there, the flaps on there. Kind of like the ones I like looking at the most. And then pretty much have OBS open all the time when I'm recording or streaming. Would be beneficial. Alright, lights are on.
516, Grand Forks approach. Proceed direct CF35L. Descend and maintain 2500 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 35 left approach.
Alright, so we're pretty much going to Heiser. Clear direct to Heiser. Descend and maintain 2,500 until established on the localizer. Northwest 516. Okay, all looking pretty good. I'm going to...
Grand Forks approach. Proceed direct CF35L. Descend and maintain 2500.
Do you tend to maintain 2,500 until established? That's what I heard. Do you intend? We will descend and maintain 2,500 until established on the localizer. Northwest 516. Let's see what I heard this time. We will descend and maintain 2,500 until established. Yeah, okay, so I heard it this time. So I was wondering if SAYINTENTIONS with their pre-recorded chatter, if it would, if you'd also hear yourself, 'cause that'd be trippy as hell. But it looks like they must have thought about that beforehand and don't have that as an option. Because I have not heard myself, and I've done enough flights, I feel, in like the same airports to where I would have definitely heard myself. But it's so cool because like I can't tell the difference between what's real and what's an actual live person at that very moment. It's so cool. It's so very cool. Most of the time I'm sitting there looking for them. Like, where's that plane at? I don't see it. There's no one. No surprise, there was no one in this area. Who flies Grand Forks, North Dakota? Actually, 757 Spy flew into Grand Forks a few weeks back. I was surprised as hell to see that on his flight plan. But he uses community suggested ones a lot of times, so someone suggested it. I think it was a Minneapolis to Grand Forks flight. And if you know me and you've seen me do enough flights, no, I did not pick this route because it's in Minnesota, North Dakota. No. I picked this flight because it had really cool legs, and it had a bunch of them. And I thought it was kind of cool and unique. So that's why I had picked this route. Could have been anywhere else. If it had the same four similar kind of legs, all the long ones. Anywhere else in the U.S., I would have probably gone that route as well. Alright, we're getting close to making our turn to the right. We're clear direct. Give us a little curve over there right now. We can also switch over to our localizer, localizer 1, and 354, 354 for our course. That's all set.
Al
Albion 198, contact Los Angeles Center on 127.35.
Wind, what is it called? Wind turbines? Okay, so overall, so far with SAYINTENTIONS, this flight, the only hiccup was it had me turn right instead of left for the first waypoint. Other than that, everything was pretty damn spot on. We still have a little bit more to go with it, but I don't see much more being goofed up. I'm definitely not expecting Grand Forks to be taxi tuned. Suppose I could check right quick. Let's see what we have.
Contact Anchorage Tower on 118.3.
I swear, if someone taxi tuned Grand Forks, I'm gonna be impressed.
Anchorage Tower, 118.3. Thanks, Officer.
KGFK. Nope. It's got default Asobo info. And based on that default Asobo info, does look like it's going to be incorrect. Yeah, it's going to be incorrect. So, we will not expect correct taxi instructions in Grand Forks. Alright, let's go ahead and make our turn on over. Let's reduce our speed down to 200. All this farmland. I used to have to travel to Grand Forks for work, and it's a very boring drive from Fargo to Grand Forks. So boring. I drove from Fargo to Minot once, and that was kind of cool. Once you got further to the west, it was really cool. It's nice and hilly, and it's really neat. And I drove during the dusk time, so like the sun setting and all that. It was gorgeous looking. I was very impressed. Had it not have been in the middle of nowhere, United States, I would have been like, yeah, we gotta move here. This is cool. Okay, so we're almost at our approach altitude. Again, 35 right, or sorry, 35 left, and we'll exit to the right. Airport should be at our about 2 o'clock probably. There. Right there. Okay, looking pretty grand. I still haven't quite decided how I'm going to handle streaming. I do want to get some sort of a consistent schedule going. Whether it's going to be mornings, evenings, if it's just going to be weekends. Just don't know. It's a hard thing for me to try to figure out because honestly, I'd like to do mornings, but I'm just not fully awake sometimes in the mornings to do a flight sim stream, to be talkative. You know, I feel if you're coming in to watch a stream, obviously you should have someone talking. And I just feel in the mornings I'm just not talkative at all. At least as early as I need to be able to knock it out before work. Alright, let's pop on our approach mode. Localizer has been captured. Let's land there. We're 6 nautical miles out from the airport. First notch of flaps are in. And let's start reducing our speed. In sight.
516, contact Grand Forks Tower on 118.4.
We'll contact northwest, or sorry, we'll contact Grand Forks Tower, northwest 516. Good day. 118 and a 4. Speed's coming down nicely. Gear coming down.
Northwest 516, contact Grand Forks Tower on 118.4. Good day.
Coming down for 2. Readjusting. Kind of timed this one not so great. Okay, over to Grand Forks Tower. Grand Forks Tower, hello from Northwest 516. We're on the localizer 35 left.
Northwest 516, Grand Forks Tower, winds 300 at 31. Runway 35 left, cleared to land.
Runway 35 left, cleared to land, Northwest 516. Laps full. Alright. Looks like a crosswind. Pretty strong crosswind.
Roger, going to departure, King Air 75 Delta.
Alright, AP off my aircraft. Definitely a crosswind.
Standard Avian 4143, contact departure on 118.6.
Gonna be a bumpy ride, folks. Hold on to your butts.
Contact departure on 118.6. Can I have a 4143?
400. 300. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay. I made it pretty good. What I had to work with. Just stowed. Alright, that was bumpier than I thought it was going to be. I think it was so windy. It didn't show that in the VTAR. Alright.
Northwest 516, welcome to Grand Forks.
Welcome to
Contact
Grand
ground
Forks.
on 124.575.
I'm just going to switch on over to ground. 124.575. Ground. Hello from Northwest 516. We're on taxiway Alpha. We'd like to taxi to the terminal. I think this is a freeware you can get on FlightSim.to.
Northwest 516, Grand Forks ground, taxi to the terminal via Alpha Foxtrot.
Ooh, hold straight. Hold straight. Taxi to the terminal via Alpha Foxtrot. Northwest 516. So, actually, I'll be a son of a gun. It's right. Didn't I say Alpha Foxtrot is what I was expecting. I'll be a son of a gun. Wow. Okay, so after each flight, I am going to restart the flight itself. I'm not going to do continuous flights, just because I want to keep the FPS stable. And I know some aircrafts are a pain in the ass to get working properly for turnarounds. I think the CRJ has a button you just tap for turnarounds, but a lot of aircrafts aren't as easy to do with, or to do that with. But there's our terminal. We're still on Alpha, and we'll go into Foxtrot next. Okay, so SAYINTENTIONS was damn near flawless on that flight, so props to them. And here's Foxtrot. So taxi instructions were correct in Winnipeg, It was just a long way around. And the flight itself was great, with the exception of that initial vector, which made no sense, but outside of that, like, it figured out everything else spot on. So I'll give it props. It gave us everything we needed.
493, stand 7535, request push and stop.
Qantas 4903, Sydney ground, pushback and start approved. Information Lima is current.
Let's see here. This is kind of a weird airport.
Push and start approved. Lima current. Qantas 493.
Oh. A little early. Okay. Parking brake is set. Wheel chocks, cones, jetway, GPU, all good. We have an APU also, so not to worry about that. Engines off. Alright, first flight is in the book. Whoa. Alright, first flight's in the book. What I was trying to do. Welcome to Grand Forks. First hour flight's in also. Let's get rolling for our second flight. So second flight is Grand Forks to Minneapolis. While that's loading up, I can get SimBrief loaded up as well. Northwest 6 Forks to KMSP. AF GK. Okay, what is it? AG. Doing something really weird here. AGFK. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's do the A320. And for Northwest, we have to do the CFM engine. Engines, I guess, with an S. Okay, up to 330 for this flight. It's kind of high, but... Alright, let's rate this flight real quick as well. This was, I would say, extremely good. Love it. The only thing was... Lime, probably. We'll do that. Okay. And we're going to jump on over to the A320. A320 in the Northwest livery. Where we go? There we go. And let's load up this guy. I know you don't really have to do this. Well, it's going real slow here. But I like to do it. Okay, here we go. And we parked. I guess there's only 2 spots, but we parked here. We parked. Go, good to go, and fly. Cool thing is, like, the last chart I had on Navigraph open was the Grand Forks Airport, and that's the same one that's still up on the screen, even though I changed the flight. So we're expecting departure 35 left, so easy, super easy taxi. It might be Foxtrot and then Alpha. So where we are right there, just heading down. Heading on down. It's like deja vu. Welcome to Grand Forks, North Dakota, everybody. Alright, so we also need to get Volanta going. So start a new flight. We're in Grand Forks and we're going to Minneapolis. Okay, Now that should be updated at the top as well. And we're golden. We can also reset ATC for intentions. And while that's doing that, let's get this plane working. Batteries, pumps, navs, oxygen, lights, compass. I like to do that. I don't know if that's necessary. Smoke, seat belts. Okay, all grand, and then APU. Alright, APU is rolling. It's all in test. We have a fault here. Fault system, overhead panel, monitor system. Fault. That's just because it's loading still? Well, let's go over to maintenance and failures. Well, that's failures. Hold on. How do we do the big? No. Maintenance, right? Just hit clear. I can't remember how to clear these out. Alright, we don't have any other failures now. Okay. I think I don't shut down the plane, right? So it's yelling at me. Alright, let's go on over here. I have the United course because that's where I normally fly is, but Phoenix, that. Okay, good. Mass, load, instant, load. Not gonna send it yet. Sync, calculate, 55. And we're gonna hold off on sending that still. We're gonna bring up our brief and request that. Alright, we are going to be Northwest Airlines flight 516. Cost index is 9. Cruising up to 330 at 55 for our flex. Okay, now we can go back over here. We can go and send this to the McDo and send this over to the McDo. Go back over here and go to ground services. And now, magic, we have weights. Magic, we have takeoff information. Flight departure is going to be 35 left. Oops. Insert that. We can clear out this disco. Clear out this disco for now. And we'll wait to add in, well, let's add in it now actually. Arrival is going to be 30 left via Bainey 3. Transition is going to be the what's it called? Title? Tail. Insert that. Look, all should be grand. Okay, we're going to hold off on making any changes with that just yet. Okay, let's go back here and we'll go to config, failures, navs. Okay, those are already in, so that's cool. Huh. Was that what the failures were? And receive messages. We have a load sheets, turn, and our load sheets. Okay, laps 1 for takeoff is what we're expecting. Rid of that, push back. Land pushback. We're going to push back push back to here, and then push back to here. Right, that's all set in the system. And I think we are ready to pretty much make our call. Let's get ATIS 119 and a 4. And we'll get clearance.
Departures contact clearance delivery on 135.725. Advise on initial contact you have information Papa.
Papa is what we have and need. Do we know what gate this is? It's just this gate 1. Sure, it's just gate 1. We'll just say that. I don't think we need anything extra at this one. Grand Forks clearance. Good afternoon from Northwest 516. We are at gate 1. We're an Airbus A320. We'd like to pick up our IFR to Minneapolis St. Paul with information Papa, and we are ready to copy. Right, while that's doing its magic, we'll hit bleed on here. And we'll switch over for APU power. Chocks, GPU, and door all closed.
Northwest 516, Grand Forks clearance, cleared to Minneapolis via the Bainey 3 departure. Then, as filed, climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 3301, 0 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.1, squawk 2124.
Clear to Minneapolis via the Bainey 3 departure, then as filed, climb maintain 4,000, expect flight level 330, 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.1, squawk 2124, Northwest 516. Alright. All looking pretty good.
Northwest 516, read back correct. Expect runway 35 left. Contact ground on 124.575.
Alright, we'll switch over to ground. Ground, a good afternoon from Northwest 516. We're at stand 1, requesting push and start. What are these people waiting for? There's no air show going on right now.
Northwest 516, Grand Forks ground, push and start approved. Expect runway 35 left. Contact ground on 124.575 when ready for taxi.
Alright. We're pushing on back. We're getting an engine started. On the plus side, we're heading to an airport that actually should have some multiplayer people, so we'll actually see some traffic. These are little FedEx. What is that? Is that... That's the Cessna Caravan? Is that the Kodiak? I don't connect to tug because sometimes it's all funky. In case you're wondering. Laps 1. Got to start the clock. Alright, engine 1 is good. Engine 2 coming up next. Our runway is right there, so super simple taxi. Get rid of that. Engine 2 is coming on up. Alright, parking brakes on. Grand Forks ground, Northwest 516, request taxi. If I remember, I'll actually do ET on departure.
Northwest 516, runway 35 left via Foxtrot Alpha. Contact tower on 118.4 when ready for departure.
Runway 35 left via Foxtrot Alpha. Contact tower when ready for departure. Northwest 516. 118 and a 4. And engine number 2 is grand. APU coming on, off. Taxi lights on. Parking brake released, and let's get rolling out of here. Takeoff, good. Cabin, check. Oops. And I can turn on this little guy. I don't know if it's working though, this livery. It's the Delta announcements because Northwest merged with Delta.
It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, oxygen masks will drop from panels above your seat and inside the laboratories.
If GSX didn't take so long to install, I would totally hop it on for the next flight in Minneapolis. But it just takes forever, like Brian was saying.
Breathe normally and note that oxygen is flowing. So don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
A water evacuation is also unlikely, but just in case, life vests are in a compartment beneath or adjacent to your seat. To use, remove the vest from its container by pulling on the tab.
Alright, so we pretty much are ready to switch over the tower.
Wrap the strap around your waist, attach it to the buckle in front, and adjust securely around your
Well, at least we made some flights here in Grand Forks where now there'll be some recorded voices for future flight people. Grand Forks Tower, hello from Northwest 516. We're holding short runway 35 left, ready for departure. Is clear as expected, right is clear, because there's like no aircrafts anywhere in the vicinity.
Northwest 516, Grand Forks Tower, winds 290 at 15, runway 35 left, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 35 left, cleared for takeoff. Northwest 516. I haven't really messed up too much on my call signs, have I? Say that, and I'm sure the rest of the flights now are going to be just a disaster.
As we finish our safety check, please let us know if you have any questions. As we get ready for takeoff, please settle in. And from all of our crew, thank you for flying with Delta.
Hey, the cabin announcements ended right when we got on the taxiway, pretty much. Or on the runway. Alright, holding the brakes, bringing up the throttle a little bit.
Folks from the cockpit, looks like we're number one for takeoff.
We are number one for takeoff.
Prepare for departure.
Alright, flex are set. Cabin call sign, all good to go. ETA on, or ET on. And rotating at, our V1's at 117. No callouts on this plane, unfortunately. Is a bit gusty. V1, rotate. No callouts. Positive rate climb, gear is coming up. We don't have to maintain runway heading on this one, so we're cleared to fly out. And I'm going to throw on AP right away. It's a bit breezy, it's going to knock me off course. So, make it the easy way. Okay, climb. Lever now.
516, contact departure on 118.1.
Over to 118.1, Northwest 516, good day. 118 and 1. I did forget to switch that over. Departure, Northwest 516, 3,200, climbing 4,000. I'll be out here, holy crap. Alright. Flaps up.
Northwest 516 Grand Forks approach.
Spoilers back down.
Direct,
and normal for the
Northwest
ignition.
516 Grand Forks approach, climb and maintain 13,000.
Climbing 13,000, Northwest 516. Okay. Pretty darn good, I say.
Lead approach, good evening.
Are we looking for estimation? 16, so less than an hour. And it should be less as we get even closer.
Good evening.
Alright, so we've had a pretty good 1.5 instructions from SAYINTENTIONS. I'm satisfied. Such a cool looking plane. I remember when I was a youngster, way back in the day, we well, I think it was a friend and some family. We drove from Fargo to Grand Forks, the crappy, boring drive, and we did that. We did that drive to go see the WWE.
516, contact Minneapolis Center on 132.15.
Over to 132.15, Northwest 516. Good day. We went to go see WWE wrestling. It wasn't even like a television event. It was just what they call them, a house match or house show. I can't remember what they call them. Minneapolis Center. Hello from Northwest 516. We're at 10,000, climbing 13,000. Any lights are off. Anywho, we drove up to Grand Forks. I think at like 4 or so in the afternoon or evening. The show was at 7, I think. We got up there earlier just so we can kind of eat, and I think we looked at something. Went to a couple places, but anywho, the show ended at what, 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I think I'm the one that drove my car. Well, yeah, I drove my car. To flight level 210, Northwest 516.
Flight level 100.
And I kind of dozed off a little bit. For like 5 seconds, if that. It might have been closer to like 2 or 3 seconds, but I know I dozed off. I think I was working overnights at the time, and I was like just exhausted. And I just remember being scared out of my mind when my eyes woke up, and I realized I dozed for a couple seconds because I could have killed everyone in the car. So once I realized I was that tired, like, I slapped myself a couple times, took some, I don't know, I think of either like those little candy gummy worms, a bunch of those in my mouth for sugar, and then drank a couple sips of whatever Coke or Pepsi I had. The caffeine, tried to keep myself awake, and I was definitely awake at that point. I was just so terrified that it didn't want to happen again. I learned a very, very, very valuable lesson: is not to drive when you're that tired ever again.
Just to let you know, the altimeter's 2988.
Very dangerous.
Bonanza 810 left, Charlie, with you passing through 5,000.
I also did a trip to Grand Forks because this was 6 years ago probably, but so I wanted to get an Alienware laptop, and the local Best Buy didn't have it in stock, but Grand Forks did. So I put the order in on the website, or actually, so I initially ordered it through the Fargo store. They said they had it in stock. I was waiting for the order to be fulfilled. I waited a couple hours. Finally, I called the store and talked to someone in electronics. They're like, "Oh yeah, we don't have that."
516, climb and maintain flight level 260.
Climb and maintain flight level 260, Northwest 516. And so I asked them, like, can you verify if another store has it? And they said, yeah, Grand Forks has it. So I was like, can you transfer my request over to Grand Forks? And they said, yeah, no problem. So they did that. So I called up Grand Forks just to make sure. And they said, yeah, we have it here. I was like, can you hold it for me? And they said, well, we don't normally like to do that kind of stuff. But I was like, but they said, oh, well, we'll help you out for today. I was like, cool, thank you so much. So I hopped in the car with my now wife, and we drove up to Grand Forks. Drove an hour to go get this laptop. It was on sale, and I really, really wanted it. Right then and then. Right then and there. We get there. I'm super excited. I go to electronics. I'm like, hey, I'm here for a laptop. And they say, oh, cool, awesome. We have it here for you. Great. My order was placed with my sister's Best Buy card. So I don't have her physical card, so just, you know, you can charge that, right? And they're like, oh, no, not anymore. And I was like, what's that supposed to mean? They say, well, called, asked us to pull it. We didn't know it was the online order also. And I was okay, well, that should be no problem. Just put it back in the system and pull it for the online order. And they said, no, we can't do that actually. We have to wait for a day for it to cycle through the system. And then we can put it back into the system. So I drove an hour for no reason. I deleted my order through Best Buy.
Northwest
And I ordered directly from Dell.
Maintain flight level 310.
Climbing up to flight level 310, Northwest 516. I'm so ticked off. But it ended up working out in my favor, I think, more than anything. And who knows if this would have happened with the original laptop, but the laptop I got from Dell, the battery stopped working in the first week. I could only use it on a DC charging, so plugged into the wall. And I had talked to Dell. I don't remember if I chatted with him or talked on the phone. I think I talked on the phone for like 10 minutes, if that. And they said, oh, I'm so sorry. We'll send you a new laptop in the mail, and then we're going to send you a label, and then just send us the old one back, and no problem. And it was just a super simple exchange, and I got like overnight shipping for free to get my replacement laptop. And I didn't even have like extended warranty. I just had the base warranty. And I know I've talked about it before in some of my streams, but obviously the price of Alienware or Dell computers can be super high, right? But you're also paying for additional stuff. And I remember I kind of told the story about like the same thing with SAYINTENTIONS. Is the price of the software's a bit on the expensive side, but you're paying for more than the software. You're paying for, you know, the instant support, the fact that Brian will look at your flight ID and fix the issue for you right there and then a lot of times. And that's cool. Like, where else can you get that kind of support that fast? Really, really cool. I don't know if anyone has ever played, what's it called? Police Simulator. What's it called? Police,
Northwest 516, climb and maintain flight level 330.
Yeah, Police Simulator Patrol Officers. Climb and maintain flight level 310, Northwest 516. They already cleared me for that. I'm supposed to climb up to, what am I, 33? 33. Anywho, they had an update for Highway Patrol expansion.
Northwest 516, climb and maintain flight level 310.
Oh, 330, there it is. Oh, I missed that call. Okay, we'll climb up to 330 now. But yeah, they had an update for,
Maintain flight level 280.
for a Highway Patrol, but it doesn't look all that great. It's kind of sad. I was kind of excited to jump back into that.
Isra Air 317 Heavy, contact Vienna radar
game.
on 133.8.
Jacksonville Center, Cessna 905 Sierra Delta with you, flight level 1500.
Okay, so we're almost at a cruising altitude. Once we're at a cruising altitude, we'll go ahead and start programming our approach into Minneapolis. And I haven't quite decided 100%, but I might not do the Cleveland leg on this one. I'm not all that big of a fan of Cleveland. So I may not do that leg.
What's your final?
Alright, we have been flying for about, well, we have been at least streaming for about an hour and 45 minutes, so I'm going to have a new thing. It's kind of corny, but I'm going to step away for a few moments, and you'll see my cool little thing up on the screen here. Oh, guess I'm going to make a call first. Climb and maintain flight level 330, Northwest 516. And, yeah, so give me a few moments here. That's right, everyone. It's a sterile flight deck right now. There should be no communications whatsoever.
Climb and maintain flight level 340.
Swiss Charlie 278, Brussels Control, climb and maintain flight level 310.
Contact 493, altitude, flight level 246.
American 2480 is looking for lower.
Contact Valencia approach on 118.8. Ground 3 cleared up to flight level 340.
Climb and maintain flight level 340.
American 2480, descend and maintain 17,000 feet. Northwest 516, contact Minneapolis Center on 127.35.
Right, we have a call just in time. Over to 127.35, Northwest 516. Good day. 12735. Minneapolis Center, hello from Northwest 516. We're at flight level 330. So I was trying to think of a way that I could do something clever that's aviation involved.
Northwest
But when I step
516
away,
Minneapolis Center. Good afternoon.
I like Kip on the ground. He has the rest stop. That's kind of cool. Puts up a cool little animation and it has a timer on it. That's neat. But I don't want to rip that off. That's not fair. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do stereo cockpit, even though that kind of doesn't make any sense because other than not talking, the pilot's still there. Whatever, this works. Okay, so we're expected to land in at 18:15. About 35 more minutes. Let's go to performance and start popping in our stuff.
Expect the ILS runway 30 left approach into Minneapolis via the Bainey 3 arrival.
Cool.
TT tail transition. All right, I'll have your descent instructions for you in about 1-2 minutes. Just a heads up, IFR approaches are still being worked on. Thanks for your patience.
Okay, so that's exactly what I'm expecting. Okay, altimeter in Minneapolis, 2987. Temperature in Minneapolis is, what, 23 Celsius.
Center, Cirrus November 427 Victor Mike, 5,500.
The winds in Minneapolis.
Here's November 427.
Minneapolis,
Victor Mike, Minneapolis Center, Roger, Valley, altimeter
20 at 11.
2977.
Gusting up to 20, no, gusting to 18. 320 at 11. It is a windy day in the Midwest. And the barrel. Runway 30 left is 123.
Expect the ILS runway 27 approach into Melbourne via the Lizzie Niner Alpha arrival.
Always sounds weird. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Hey, we picked up a minute. Cool. Okay, all's looking pretty good. We will start our descent momentarily. It said in 12 nautical miles, or 12 minutes. So in about 11 minutes, well, about 10 minutes at this point. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. This is our top of descent here. Any arrival. We're gonna drop down to 7,000. So I'm gonna put in our initial descent down to 7,000. Okay. I'm still gonna wait on adjusting our final vector into the runway because we will be pretty much doing a, well, not really a 360.
Have a good evening.
Oh, kinda. Pretty close to 270.
For November 70 Delta. Good evening.
Sun Country 1617, contact Memphis Center on 120.8. American 2480, contact Atlanta Center on 132.625.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead. I know we don't really have a lot of viewers right now. I don't have a lot of viewers, and should we. But I'm going to start a poll. And it's going to be ATC or SAYINTENTIONS for the next flight. So, BATC, let's be on ATC, or SAYINTENTIONS. I'll leave that up. I don't know if there's a timer or not, but I'll leave it up. There's no timer, so I'll leave it up until we get down into Minneapolis, and we'll kind of see what happens with people jumping in from the stream. As of right now, I'm planning on doing SAYINTENTIONS. Streaming is so interesting because, like, I talked to my friend about streaming, and I tell him how, because most people, like, you watch the viewer numbers, right? You're trying to you don't like talking to yourself, so you watch the viewer numbers to see if there's someone on, then you start talking. But everything I've read is like, you should just talk as if people are watching. And that is one thing I have a problem with, personally. Well, what I found helpful, since I switched over to stream from Twitch, is with YouTube, the video is automatically saved into your previous history, whatever. I think it's there forever, unless you delete it, right? So other people eventually will jump in and watch.